Okay, what's going on with all my money motivated stars? Now I want to talk about the real Cabbage Patch babies. You feel what I'm saying? Because I'm not finna get too far into the history of it. Just know years ago, I think the first Cabbage Patch dolls was originated in 1976. Don't give me the line. I'm gonna say the 1970s, but those, like I said, everything we watch on television, whether they're coming from a cartoon, movie, an action figure, dolls, a lot of these, the movie Titanic, a lot of this stuff was derived from somewhere. It came from somewhere. You feel what I'm saying? So legend has it, and I believe this. You don't have to believe this if you don't want to, but legend has it. The Cabbage Patch dolls originally came from humans that was actually birthed, you know what I mean, in the lab, in the field, you know what I mean? And how they was birthed, it resembled like cabbage, you feel what I'm saying? And they created these beings to have no inner thought. They have their souls, basically. You feel what I'm saying? So you walking around with a soul, because they say 50% of the world is walking around with these so-called humans around. You feel what I'm saying? But they have no power, no will to fight back. They kind of really just go with the flow. And you can see that, you know what I'm saying, in today's time. Not saying everybody who goes with the flow is a soulless being, but that's why they put them around, because they will have more slaves. And, you know, say if you was the only person with a soul around, and it's 9 Cabbage Patch kids around you, and you at a workplace, and the boss come in and say, we got to do an extra 3 hours of mandatory overtime. You know what I mean? If everybody agree with that, the Cabbage Patch kids agree with that, you're gonna kind of go along with it, because you don't want to be the only one getting fired, or the only one have a problem with the situation that's going on. Or some people still will quit, but 9 times out of 10, you're gonna go along with the flow if everybody else is going along with the flow. That's why they push a lot of these beings out of here. You know what I mean? You just notice the ones who just don't really, who don't have intuition. I ain't gonna say the ones who really don't think about stuff, because the ones who don't have that internal intuition, you feel what I'm saying? If you ask them something like, do this feel right? And they be like, well, I'm gonna do it because the boss said do it, or I'm just gonna do it because, you know what I'm saying, they go along with the flow, and they don't give you a real response like a human would. You feel what I'm saying? If you ask them like, you don't feel like something ain't right about this, they won't know what to tell you. You feel what I'm saying? And there's a lot of these so-called people that's around here. You know what I mean? A lot of people who have souls, some of them have lost their ability. You know, well, the ability has been buried deep within inside them to even follow their intuition. A lot of people's intuition is off because of their diet. You feel what I'm saying? If you put a lot of the wrong stuff in your body, your intuition has a chance on being off. You know what I mean? Not saying that anybody who's poisoning their body, because people still out here drinking and doing everything under the sun, and they still have strong spiritual senses. So don't let me, because when I was poisoning my body, I still had strong keen sense of intuition and knowing. So I can't really say just because I clean my diet up, my intuition is 100% right now. It was on point back then. You know what I mean? I just didn't know too much about the terminology and what I was really feeling. But it's like now that I have cleaned up my diet, I know to trust it more. You feel what I'm saying? I don't second guess it. Like in the past, I used to second guess it. Like, nah, this ain't such and such, such, such. Then it's really what happened. So I was like, it's a lot of us. Just know some of you out there are fake humans. You know what I'm saying? You might be watching my video, but nah. If you're 9 times out of 10, if you watching my videos, I got like probably 90% of real spiritual beings on my channel. You feel what I'm saying? Because like I said, y'all give me y'all feedback, y'all tell me different things, y'all, you know what I mean, y'all really indulge in what I'm saying, y'all share my videos. So it's a lot of bots they send to my channel too. It's a lot of different, you know what I mean, people who just are unaware. And I wouldn't say these Cabbage Patch kids or humans are necessarily well, yes, I would say that they ain't a danger to society. if they're programmed enough, yes, they are. Hell, a regular human who's really real, who has a soul, can be a detriment to society if they programmed as well. You feel what I'm saying? So I was like, it's like yin and yang type of thing. You know what I mean? Like Cabbage Patch Kids couldn't necessarily not be a harmful thing if they was brought up under the right umbrella. You feel what I'm saying? If they're brought up around people like you, and you know what I mean, people who have morals and all that, they're just gonna go with the flow, the program of any society they sit in. So, put an example for like a Cabbage Patch Kid with a regular human. If you put them in an environment where it's thriving, you know what I mean, they eating healthy and all this going on, this is what the person is gonna do. You put them in a negative society, that's what the person is gonna do. But the Cabbage Patch children or adults gonna be more worse when it comes to that, because if they're programmed for violence, that's pretty much what they're gonna do. It's not gonna be no reasoning, because they don't have no intuition saying this ain't really me. This ain't what I don't feel like I don't supposed to be doing this. They're only gonna run off their program in which they were set in. But you, on the other hand, if you was programmed for failure, like a lot of us was programmed for that, but we still got out of it because our intuition was letting us know, like, we ain't supposed to be living like this. We gods and goddesses. We supposed to be thriving. You know what I'm saying? That intuition kicked in. That DNA kicked in. You feel what I'm saying? But with some of these people, you got to watch out for them, because ain't nothing kicking in. Ain't nothing kicking in but their program. And if you're around those wrong people at the wrong time, they're going to do anything, like they say in the Matrix, they're going to do anything to protect the system that they was built under. The governments are these people's parents. They're going to listen. So you best you get out the way, or you know how to fend off who you supposed to be fending off. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah. Y'all make sure y'all hit the like button, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you be notified whenever I post a video. And y'all be blessed on Walking in Smoke.
Anything about it? Well, let me try to explain it. First, there were the Cabbage Patch babies. Now, these weren't just toys, you see. They became a symbol of something much bigger, a massive repopulation effort after the reset. These babies, they weren't born the usual way. They were produced almost mechanically in large numbers and distributed through a cold, efficient system. Strange, isn't it? Brings to mind ideas like cloning, doesn't it? And maybe that's why today you see so many folks who just seem to go with the flow. No questions, no thinking. Did you know they say nearly half the population doesn't even have an internal monologue? Imagine that, living life with a quiet mind, just following along. Those babies, those orphan trains, they were shipped off along with abandoned children who had survived the reset, taken from their families, sent to faraway lands. Many ended up in America. And when they got there, they were given a new story, the official version of history. No elders left to tell them the truth. Nobody to remember how things used to be. It made them easier to control, you see, easier to accept.